How do I
Oh,
put
look
it?
how nice. Hold it still. Is that you? You and John?
Uh-huh. That's me. Uncle John, and then I want to say it's the whoever was the councilman. I went to Veneta to the Veneta parade, and that was my first obligation other than the holidays, after the holidays.
I love it.
And I don't know who it says Sam Siebolt Memorial Sweepstakes and Marshals. Oh, so it wasn't even the councilman. The marshal of the parade, I guess, and Sam, it's some kind of sweepstakes winner, I guess. I don't even remember.
Okay, wasn't there something special about that dress? Is
My
that what?
mom and I made that dress before I ever ran for Miss Cherokee when I was in high school. Um, maybe the first time I ran, it might have been the first time I ran in '89, and we tore it. We tore the whole dress, so it was actually a tear dress. She and
No.
I made it together. She designed it and helped me step by step, but I sewed it and she sewed it both on the sewing machine. But we
Wow.
made sure we tore all the pieces because it was a tear dress. We tried to make it traditional. We've
Uh-huh.
got the calico material because that was traditional. So it was special because she made it with me.
Wow. So your I guess we could say your journey as Miss Cherokee started well before you ran for Miss Cherokee. You started it with your mom making that dress.
Maybe my journey started when I was a little girl and watched the Miss Cherokee contestants in the parade during the holidays
Ah,
because I can just remember thinking they were just the most beautiful people, every year. And so that might have been the beginning of my um, inspiration to run for Miss Cherokee.
do you remember what made you run finally?
Um,
Ran twice?
I was in college, so I couldn't run during my bachelor's. I spent 2 years at Tahlequah NSU, and then I spent time at OU and received my bachelor's. And so I had moved off. And then I came back to get my master's degree. And I was at the age that is the very last year that I could run for Miss Cherokee and be eligible. So I decided to run. And the first time I ran in '89, that was when I was at NSU and I was still going to college there. So it was just the right timing for me to run the second time.
Wow. And do you remember the moment when you found out you won? Did they
Yes.
did they announce like second runner up, first runner up, and then it could be you?
Yeah. Yep, they did. That's how they did it. They, I think, had the Miss Congeniality Award and the Talent Award, and then they had second runner up, first runner up, and then they crowned Miss Cherokee. And my second runner up and first runner up were so sweet. They were just such sweet, sweet contestants. I was so glad to get to know them, and I've been able to be friends with them even after. And they were just sweet. It was really a fun time, even just to be in the pageant. That was so fun to me. I enjoyed those two. Well, I don't even remember how many days it was. Several days, not just the pageant day. Interviews, and then we spent time at the uh, complex together. And then the day of the pageant, we spent all day together.
You really learned a lot, right? When you're serving as Miss Cherokee.
I did. I did. There are things that I learned as an ambassador for Cherokee Nation as Miss Cherokee that have helped me in my professional career for sure. In my ability just to speak to people and speak in front of people, and my ability to speak to people about my heritage, because when you're Miss Cherokee, sometimes you speak to people who know the culture because they're native as well. And sometimes you're speaking to people who have no idea about Cherokee culture at all and Cherokee people. And so that to me, that was just looking back, that was well, even then, I realized that was the most important thing I could do was to tell somebody about my heritage. I was always so proud of my heritage. My family was so proud of our heritage, and they had instilled that in me. And it's a chance to tell people what it's like to live in the world that we live in, and knowing Cherokee ways, knowing Cherokee culture, our art, um, our crafts. There's so many things that you can talk about, and it's to let them know that um, they want to know. They're in front of you, and they're there to gain education and to see what you have to say. And it's our opportunity. It's really our obligation to let them know about everything that we know in our culture. Okay.
Okay. So, what would be your best advice for someone who's considering running, but they're just not sure if it's for them?
I told many candidates before, I felt like I gained so much from the opportunity to even run. I ran twice. I ran in '89, and that's the year that Audra won, Audra Smoke.
Yeah.
And she was so good. She was so great. And that was a good experience for me, just to see what it was like and to understand what was going to happen during the pageant and the few days before the pageant. And then the second time I ran, I just realized I was older, and I just realized that it doesn't hurt at all to try, because what I gained out of that was so many friendships, people that I know now, that when I run into them, it's just like a bond we have. You gain experience in interviews, you gain experience talking to people in front of people. We had to attend a reception at Cherokee Nation, and so you gain experience in talking to dignitaries.
Oh my goodness, didn't you attend a presidential inauguration?
I did. I was able, the year I won was Bill Clinton's. In 1993, Bill Clinton was inaugurated as president in Washington in January. And so I was Miss Cherokee 1992-93. So I was able to go to Washington, D.C. with the delegation, the Cherokee Nation delegation. And that was amazing.
Yeah. Certainly not an opportunity you would have had otherwise, right?
Oh, no. I would never have been able to attend. My chaperones were Colleen Ketcher and Jody Ketcher, and they really were wonderful, because they took care of every detail. And so they laid the groundwork before every obligation that I had. And so I didn't have to worry about details of my trips. They took care of everything. I was just to be there, and they took care of details during the trip and after. They wore so many hats that year. And so it just made I can't thank them enough. They gave me a year of their life, and it made everything that I did extra special, and it's just so much fun, because I didn't have to deal with the details of it. And I feel like that's important, because Miss Cherokee has a lot to do when you are at any of your appearances or obligations. So I feel like that's really an important aspect that helped me to have the best year ever.
You know, Jody's actually called me yesterday, and I got to tell, because I had just been talking to you, I got to tell her how grateful I was that she invested that year in my life.
It's amazing.
Yes. When someone invests in your life like your chaperones do, as Miss Cherokee,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it changes who you are.
It's so true. It really does.
The best in you. And did you ever think about what your life would have been like if you had not won compared to what it's like now?
Well, I always tell everybody it changes your life. It does, because we were talking about the pageant. The pageant, just the opportunity to do that was great. I don't see any drawback in that. That was just a good experience, and really I had a good time. When I was during Miss Cherokee, you take it a step further, and it changes you. You become more poised. You have a perspective of what it's like for people to not really know about Cherokee ways, and then you talk to them, and then they're so appreciative. It helps you to understand your culture at the same time as you're teaching other people. And there's so many ways: leadership, public speaking. It just helps you mature, and it gives you confidence. And those things can carry you through the rest of your life.
Do you think you would have chosen the same career path that you have now if you had not won the title of Miss Cherokee?
I would have, because I had applied to NSU's speech language pathology program before I ran for Miss Cherokee, and I had received my bachelor's at OU in communication disorders, but I got my prerequisites at NSU. And so I already had chosen my career path before I ran for Miss Cherokee. I was really fortunate because at NSU, my professors allowed me to go on some trips during the year, and they were always so, they just complimented me because I always told people I was going to the career of speech language pathology, and that I attended Northeastern State University and what a great program it was. And they were glad that I was a representative for them as well. And they were always complimentary, and they were very willing to help me complete my schoolwork while I was Miss Cherokee. And I'm so thankful for that too. I was just so grateful for that opportunity.
Sounds like you had great support.
I did. I was blessed for sure.
How about your mom and dad? Do you remember them? Were they
Yes.
super proud?
Yes. My mom and my parents just provided support my entire life in any endeavor that I wanted to do. They were always behind me, and they supported everything. They helped in any way that they could in any area that I wanted to pursue. And so
you should introduce your mom and dad, and then people will maybe have a better context.
Sure. My mom was Jean Glass, and my dad was Bill Glass Sr. And they were very active in Cherokee Nation activities and committees, and they were always volunteering their time. They were retired when I was growing up, so they were able to donate valuable time to be involved in Cherokee Nation activities. My dad was also involved in Sequoia High School, where he was the FCA sponsor. And so I was just so blessed with supportive parents that helped me in any way I could. So they always supported things that I did. And I have great pictures of the night I won and my parents hugging me. And I was able to wear the crown that my dad made, because my dad was a silversmith. And so that crown had been in the pageant before I won. You wore that crown too, didn't you, Deborah?
Yes. Yeah.
And it was amazing because I wore the crown that my dad made at that time.
Do you have a picture of your mom and dad hugging you at the pageant? Do you have that picture with you?
I have one of my mom. I can get that out.
Yeah. Because I think it's also worth mentioning that your mom and dad were instrumental in starting the bike ride that everyone does now to retrace the trail of tears.
Yes, they were. They helped with organizing that through also Moe's Killer, and there was just a committee at Cherokee Nation that helped organize the bike ride, but they were on the committee too.
So in the years following your service as Miss Cherokee, and we should mention it was 1992-93, right?
92-93, yes.
So in the years following, you recall how it made a positive difference in your life directly following your service?
So the years after I was Miss Cherokee, how that impacted me? Mm-hmm. Is that the question? Yeah. Well, I feel like you go into Miss Cherokee expectant and hopeful and so thrilled to be in that position. And the whole time you're there, you're so blessed, and you're just amazed at this opportunity and blessing that you've been given. And then when you're finished with it, you're just a different person. Like you said, you're just that experience changed you. And I feel like that right now, in any aspect of my life, I feel like I'm still a Cherokee Nation ambassador. And I really think all Cherokee people, that's our calling and that's our responsibility, because we are to tell other people about our tribe and how the pride that we have in our tribe. We are we are to represent all the time. And I feel that in every job I've ever had. I feel that in the communities that I see, whether it's my own community or other communities within Cherokee Nation. If it's outside our area, outside our state, we are. I feel like still that we are supposed to be ambassadors. So that is something that I'm so thankful for. That I feel like that's our responsibility, is to represent our tribe.
Do you feel better equipped to do that now?
Yes, definitely. For sure. And I had so many people at Cherokee Nation and so many natives in the places that I would attend that helped me achieve that, because everywhere you travel, there are Cherokee people there that are just so willing to help you, to be your tour guides, to introduce you to the people in their area, whether it be in Arizona, whether it be New Mexico. You meet your fellow Cherokee people, and they are willing, they are just so thrilled that you're there, and they are so helpful to you. So what I was able to give to people, I feel like people gave me more than even that, just by sharing their life with me during that year.
And who was chief when you were Miss Cherokee?
Um, hold on.
I know the answer to that.
So,
It was Wilma, wasn't it, Wilma? Because she was
yes,
chief when I was Miss Cherokee, and you were right.
yes, there were so many different phases that okay, ask me that question again.
But you knew Wilma before, didn't you?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
When I was Miss Cherokee, Wilma Mankiller was chief, and John Ketcher was deputy chief. And
I
I was,
forgot he was deputy chief.
yeah, I was able to be involved. I was blessed to be involved in Cherokee Nation leadership programs whenever I was in high school. So I had met Wilma before, and I had my John Ketcher was my uncle. His first wife was my mom's sister, and I had known Wilma through those programs, and I was just blessed to be able to serve appear at events where she was. She was always so helpful. She always took good care of me. She always helped me and encouraged me. And that's still such a blessing and such an amazing memory to me, that she was so helpful. I traveled with Colleen Ketcher and John Ketcher very often. And, John was my uncle. I grew up with him in my family. And so they just took me in as family, and helped me in everything, that in every obligation, every occasion. I felt like I was surrounded by a lot of support. So, here's a picture of my mom. You want me to hold the picture?
Yeah.
She was so proud.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. I remember your mom. I have such good memories of your mom.
Yes.
I still remember coming over to your house, and she would always have something freshly baked or some kind of treat for us. She was so wonderful.
She loved to love on people. That was what she did.
Yeah.
And she was so proud of me that night.
You can tell.
She always wanted me to focus on my coursework. And so she wanted to make sure, I think she was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to focus on my coursework that year. And she just wanted to make sure of that, but she wanted me to do what I wanted to do as well. And she was so proud of me when I won. She was just so thrilled. So that's a great memory right there.
Yeah.
My dad was right beside her. I'm sure I don't have a picture, but I remember my whole family was there that night. My brothers and my mom and my dad.
And we'll just mention your brother. One of your brothers is famous, Bill Glass Jr., right? And
right. He is a master. He's a national treasure, and he is a master artist, and he does ceramics, and he also has glass studios in Locust Grove, where he now collaborates with my nephew, his son Demas, and they both do art together. Demas does silversmithing and silver work like my dad did, and Billy does ceramics, my brother Bill.
I want to mention, because you have Taylor's name on your screen instead of yours, that Taylor is an accomplished performance artist. And I think she got that partly from you, because I remember your talent in your pageant was you acted out a scene of a woman who came over on the trail.
I'm very proud of Taylor. Taylor is I'm blessed because she is a I'm just proud of her. She's a 22-year-old adult now, and I'm just so proud of what she's done. My when I was Miss Cherokee, I and I wanted to say too, my nephew Demas is also a a national treasure as
Oh,
well.
I didn't know that. That's wonderful.
He is.
Wow. And he
Thank
since
you.
made the next crowns, right? He made the current Miss Cherokee crown, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He made the current Miss Cherokee crown and the junior Miss Cherokee crown.
Oh, and they're beautiful.
And I think he made the ones that were retired previous to these as well.
They're so smooth looking. I mean, they're almost like they have a feel of water, because they're just graceful and beautiful.
That's what I feel like too. They're the flow of the design is just beautiful. It catches my eye when I see it in a group of people, you
Yeah.
know. Um,
I wanted to ask you how being Miss Cherokee changed your perspective of Cherokee Nation, if it did.
um, I was just more proud of it. I was always so proud of the nation. I was always so proud of um, being Cherokee. And then when I was in the leadership programs in high school, and when I learned, my parents, like we said, were part of the committee that helped with the original Remember the Removal program. I was able to just learn quite a bit about my culture through Cherokee Nation. So I already had a deep respect for the people who instilled that knowledge into young people. And then after Miss Cherokee, it just deepened because I met so many people in so many departments. And it just, we are very lucky and blessed. I work in schools now, and even now, people, you would not believe how Miss Cherokee Nation affects young people and the communities through their work in schools. And so they do that in all aspects, business, education, youth services. There's just so many ways that it just makes you proud. It just continues to make you proud to be Cherokee.
And you can say that with knowledge, because you've kind of devoted your career to working with schools that are located right in the heart of the Cherokee Nation, right?
Right. Yeah. My entire career, I actually worked for 5 years in Tulsa in long-term care facilities, and I provided speech therapy. And then I have worked for 26 years in rural schools within the Cherokee Nation area, and it's close to where I live in this area in Delaware County, and I worked in Adair County, and I have worked in one school in Mays County. And there's always a big Native population in all of the schools. And so I'm just really blessed to be able to work with Native kiddos. I feel like that is something that sometimes I feel really like maybe I'm helping continue the efforts of my mom and my dad, because my mom was a nurse and my dad was an educator, and my dad worked in Indian boarding schools for 30 years. And so I feel like I have a little from both sides, the health science side and the education side, and I'm able to hopefully continue to help Native children like they did.
That's wonderful. I just want to mention that I haven't upgraded my Zoom yet to Pro, and we have like 3 minutes remaining.
Okay.
So if there's anything you want to say, now's the time to say it. It's just going to cut us off.
Well, I would like to say that, Deborah, that you were Miss Cherokee before I was, and I grew up knowing you and having a friendship with you and just loving you, and before we even both ran for Miss Cherokee. And one of the special things in my life was that the night that I won, you gave the crown to me.
I did.
And that was just special and
It
amazing.
really was special.
Mhm.
You're making me cry just thinking about
I'm about to cry.
it.
But that was a blessing, amazing. It was just amazing. And you have been a mentor to me. I could ask you questions the next year, and you would always be able to tell me what to expect. And the relationship we now have with the two chaperones that we both shared, Colleen Ketcher and Jody
Yeah,
Ketcher,
that's
one of the
special.
best things in my life. One of the best things is to still be
Yeah.
friends and to still get together like we do. So,
Well, it was an honor to pass the crown on to someone who I knew would I
oh,
knew would make everybody proud. And you
oh,
did such
thank you.
a great job. I think you were far more gracious than I was in some
Oh, no, not
situations.
at all. No, no, no.
Because you just have a natural grace to you, and I've always admired that about you. And
No.
I tell you what, Jody and Colleen, just the fact that they invested their lives in us, and and one of the things I remember is it's funny that we both shared is how Jody was always telling us, just get over it and get up there. And she was always very forceful, and sometimes you need that. It's kind of kicking the pants a lot. Because I remember I was afraid I was going to fall because they always had us wearing the dresses were always so long. And sometimes the stairs weren't quite steady if we had to walk up on the stage. And I'll never forget telling Jen, I'm afraid I'm going to fall off the stairs. And she said, Deborah, if you fall down those stairs, I will kill you. And I believed her.
I believe her too.
Oh, and I remember driving in the Cherokee Nation minivans everywhere. Remember that?
Definitely. Yes, they provided transportation, whether it was, 30 minutes down the road or all the way to Cherokee, North Carolina.
Oh my gosh, the nation really supported us well, didn't they?
Oh my goodness, it's amazing. It's
a
just
great
amazing.
program.
Definitely. Yes.
They continue to do that. I'm really
Hmm.
proud of Lisa Trice for continuing to work in that program. And
Oh,
yeah,
the entire committee. There's a committee behind Miss Cherokee, and
mm,
every year they dedicate so much time and effort to try to choose a Miss Cherokee that will represent our tribe so well. And I knew that there was so much work that the committee and the chaperones did. So to me, that was something that made it wonderful, special.
Join the conversation. Discover stories and insights that matter to you. Subscribe to Cherokee 411 with Kara and stay connected with independent media, real, relevant, and unfiltered.